The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Earnestly podcast coming to you on March 13th, 2021 on a fucking Saturday. I never record this show. Well, never, but done it before in the past. But I very rarely do podcasts on a Saturday. And the only reason I'm doing a podcast right now is because a couple things I wanted to get off my chest. This won't be a long one. In fact, I'd be surprised this goes past 20 minutes, honestly. But I had a couple minutes to get in here because my wife's out for a little bit, run some errands. Worked a hard day at work today. I'm tired, but I wanted to get this in. I want to get this in quickly. By the way, I'm considering changing the theme music for this podcast soon. Nothing against the theme I have. You know, I love the theme. We had it for 7 years. But, you know, sometimes when it's time to shake things up a little bit, you know, I kind of want something new. So I'm looking at some things. Not sure it will happen. It may happen soon. It may happen not for a couple months. But looking to change some things here a little bit. Shake shit up here at Earnestly Podcast. So, like I said, a couple things I want to get to. But first, of course, this podcast you can find on all podcast catchers, including Stitcher Radio, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Podbean, wherever the hell you guys subscribe. I'll tell you what, though. My favorite one, I've said before in this show, my favorite podcast catcher is Overcast. Overcast is, of course, run by the great Marco Arment. So, by the way, also this episode will be on YouTube, but it's not video again. Second straight episode with no video. You know why? It's actually kind of a stupid reason why. I didn't get my hair done. I've been so lazy. Some of you guys know me. I always really have hair in my head. But I'm 40, turning 41 in less than 2 months. I am losing my hair. And I know it's more noticeable when I grow my hair out and I get lazy. It became even more noticeable during the pandemic last year. So, yeah, I'm not getting my black ass on the video screen. You can see my receding hairline and top of my head, top of my dome looking like crap. No, not doing that. I'd rather record a podcast and not have to see my receding hairline and just get the content out, you know. But I actually the main thing I wanted to react to was something that was announced yesterday. NFL talk. Cam Newton is back in New England. Yeah, it was kind of shocking, considering the fact that when we left the season, let me even go back further than that. When we weren't even out of the regular season. I think this was week 16 in late December when we were hearing reports about Cam Newton and the Patriots were going to part ways. This relationship was not going to work, and it was clean. It was a clean parting of ways, but yeah, it was done. I was under the impression everybody's under the impression that Cam Newton and the Patriots were not going to work long term. 7-9 season for the Patriots last year. Of course, context is necessary when to explain that. But we get word yesterday that Patriots and Cam Newton have come to an agreement on another 1-year deal. And for what the numbers look at on the outside, it's a 1-year, $14 million deal. Obviously, you go on Twitter. I'm friends with a bunch of Patriot fans and people who cover the team and all that. Mostly negative, a lot of shock. Let me say this real quick, and let me tell you why this makes sense. Why Cam going back for another year makes sense. And I spoke about this on the podcast throughout the year last season, trying to get an understanding where the Patriots, why they were struggling where they were. Okay, let me say again, it's actually quite a miracle the Pats did win 7 games last year, considering the fact that Cam Newton got to the team late in the offseason. I think it was a July, I believe. July, right before camp started. Then the Patriots have all these opt-outs due to COVID. Then Cam Newton gets COVID. And then the team struggles, and they had to reschedule practices, and there were like a few weeks early in the year where they weren't able to practice on a regular schedule and all that. Then the injuries. And I'm not saying Cam was good last year. Cam was not good last year. He had a couple of decent moments, but he was not good last year. But Cam Newton never got a fair shake. His best receiver, Julian Edelman, missed most of the season last year. So if you look at it from a contextualized point of view, it's quite miraculous. And I'll say it again, it is quite miraculous that the New England Patriots actually won 7 games last year when you consider everything that went down. So this makes sense that Cam is back. It's clear the Patriots don't have any other options right now at quarterback. They're not going to get into the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, obviously, especially now with the Texans claiming that he ain't going anywhere. I mean, I know we heard about the Russell Wilson thing, but he ain't going anywhere, at least for another year. You know? So most of the quarterbacks now are pretty much set where they're at. Dak Prescott re-signed extension. Matthew Stafford went to the Rams, and he said reports were that he was open to being traded to any team but the Patriots. So why not go to the well for one more time from the Patriots? I'm okay with that. You know, and the reports out of New England is that the Cam Newton was very well liked. Bill Belichick was extremely complimentary of Cam, the front office, teammates. You know, so why not go back to the well? And now with Cam, he locked in for a year. He'll have an opportunity to right the wrong. The opportunity to actually go into a camp where he knows the playbook. He'll know who his team is. Because by the time we get to the training camp, we're hoping that we'll be back to normal as a country. I'm not giving excuses here. I'm just saying what it is. Cam Newton didn't. I want to say getting a fair shake, but contextualize it a second. Not a full camp. You know, COVID protocols. Destroying the team. Injuries galore. Of course, he's going to have a shitty year last year. The fact they won 7-9 is quite miraculous. Give him credit for that. So I agree the Patriots here go back to Cam. And guess what? On the Patriots, I'm still looking to my future. Draft a quarterback. I don't know. Figure out who's in the draft that you can get and develop for the long term. But at least Cam right now in the short term is the best option. I'm okay with that. He's been there a year now. He has some semblance of the playbook. Maybe it works out going forward. I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of NFL, I would say speaking of the Patriots, but it's not the Patriots, but it's tied to the Patriots. Tom Brady signed a 2-year extension yesterday. I believe it was I don't know the numbers on this thing, but it's $50 million, and I think it's front ended, heavily, where he gets making most of the money in the first year, and then enough cap room in the second year, create enough cap room in the second year. I'm convinced this guy is playing until he's 46 years old at least, if not further than that. Excuse me, had to sneeze. Oh, cough. Sorry. Yeah, Tom Brady, GOAT. The Bucs are going to be the favorites in the NFC. I think. I think once all said and done, we obviously, we'll see what happens in free agency and in the draft. But I have no qualms in saying that right now they're going to be the favorites to win the NFC at least. I feel like they're going to be a better team next year than they were this year. I believe that. So, Brady, an extension. Wow. All right. Let me see. What I want to touch on here on the notes. Some politics. So we got numerous, and I look real quick. I know I've said I'm going to tone down the political discussions, not discussions, but tone down not just on the show, but just in general. But this is something I want everyone to talk about. Andrew Cuomo is a lot of flyer. Andrew Cuomo is the governor of New York. Remember, he was the media darling last year during the early stages of COVID, and then now in the last couple months, he's been the devil incarnate because of his handling of COVID. And when it turns out he lied about the numbers, and it turned out that a lot of deaths happened in New York in nursing homes because he was putting people in nursing homes, who were infected with COVID and all that. And now he's been accused times seven of sexual harassment by 7 women. And now you have numerous New York Democrats calling for his head and asking for his resignation. Now, let me say this real quick. These are just accusations. I'm not saying that's true or not true. These are accusations. This is why I get on Democrats for being, and it's clear they're playing politics here. Like AOC and Kristen Gillibrand and Chuck Schumer have all called for Cuomo to resign. Can we at least investigate this shit first before? Again, I'm not saying he's innocent or not because I don't know the case. I haven't followed the case. But is it the right move to investigate before calling for his head if there's some tangible evidence that he indeed overstepped his bounds and did harass even one person? Then yeah, resign. But I'm bothered by and to me, the Democrats that are doing this are playing politics because they don't want all this over their heads because it may impact the 2022 elections and all that. No, that's bullshit. Investigate first before you call for his heads. Makes no sense. And look, I've been critical of Andrew Cuomo too the last couple months. He really fucked up in New York, without question. But these are accusations. Okay? Invest the accusations. If there's some legitimacy to these accusations, or even one of these accusations, then move forward. But seriously, these Democrats now high and mighty coming here and saying, he must resign. For what? What if he's telling the truth? What if he's telling the truth? What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. Stop. Let the investigators investigate. If they find something, then move forward. Move forward and then have him resign. But, geez, these Democrats don't know how to get their own way, man. And this is why you guys keep, and I say you guys, come on, Democrat, this is why you guys keep losing elections. It's funny, too, because a buddy of mine earlier on text, he's a big, he's a conservative, he's a Trump supporter. He sent me a text asking what he thought about Biden so far the first 50-something days of his administration. And I told him, he was saying, your boy. I'm like, what do you mean, my boy? First of all, Joe Biden wasn't even wasn't even my top three people I wanted to win the nomination. I was very clear who I wanted to win the nomination back in last year. It was Andrew Yang. I was an Andrew Yang guy from the word go. I like Joe Biden, but I'm not beholden to Joe Biden. What do you mean, my boy? Don't do that to me, man. My boy. Seriously. I hate that shit. It's not a fucking team. I'm not even a fucking Democrat. My boy. I told him, dude, I voted against Trump, not for Biden. Same in 2016. I voted against Trump, not for Hillary Clinton. I'm not a Hillary Clinton fan. You all know that. Seriously. The fact of the matter is there are only two political parties. You have two people to choose from. Of course, you have here all my third-party friends say, well, what about the Libertarians or what about the Green Party? Stop. You don't have a seat at the table. You can't get into the fucking debate. Stop. Seriously. There's just two parties. So either you vote for one of these two clowns or you don't vote at all. And I'm not doing that. Sorry. Those guys not going to vote. Okay? I refuse to give up my American privilege to not vote. If you don't like my vote, too bad. But it's my vote. You don't see me going through your throat telling you to vote a certain way. I mean, I don't know, man. And shit like that. Now, granted, it's a good friend of mine, so whatever, it's not a big deal. But shit like that is why I want to turn down the volume. Because it gets nowhere. And granted, we're joking around, but if this is a bigger conversation on social media, oh my God, you're going to have people up down my throat. Oh, dude, you libtard this and you socialist commie. Like, really? Do you know anything about me? Like, seriously? Is either all or nothing? Really? Like, stop, dude. You're embarrassing yourself. Just saying. Like I said, Democrats in New York need to back off. Investigate. And if you find something, then call for resignation. But till then, chill the fuck out with the politics. Seriously. Anyway. What else? Oh, how about yesterday, the news about J-Lo and A-Rod breaking up, ending their engagement after 4 years together, a 2-year engagement. What did A-Rod do this time? I don't know what happened. There was I read something about maybe there was some, I don't know, woman involved. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on that, but damn, A-Rod. And A-Rod, things are going good for A-Rod the last couple of years too. You know, his career, his media career is going well. He has J-Lo. Come on, J-Lo's fine as hell. You know that. And then now they're breaking up. Now, granted, I have no doubt J-Lo is hard to deal with. She seems like someone who's very high maintenance, very tough exterior and interior, which is fine. It's her right, you know. But damn, A-Rod, it's J-Lo, dude. I mean, that woman's perfection, man. You've seen her, and she's in her 50s. You've seen her, like, really. Just saying, man. A-Rod, you messed that shit up, man. What you doing, bro? What are you doing? Come on. Anyway, really trying to keep up with technology and social media as it continues to evolve. I've noticed I'm falling behind the ball. So the last couple months, I've started to try to figure out these new latest things, widgets and apps, and I still don't know how to use them. Just found about this thing called Clubhouse, which I got invited into actually by our own Mark Francois a couple months ago. Discord, which I still don't know how to use. There's more stuff here that I'm looking at. And I'm like, and this is the sign of you getting old. When all these new, like, apps and stuff, and I don't know how to use it. I'm pretty technically sound. I have been for a long time. But becoming a parent in the last 7 years has sapped something out of my brain to the point where I've become basic as hell. And meanwhile, the world keeps turning anyway, regardless of that. And I don't know how to operate Clubhouse or Discord, especially Discord. I was looking to try and figure out Discord. My 11-year-old niece knows how to use Discord. I don't. I've asked questions, got no help. You know? So, I don't know, man. I'm 41. I'm turning 41 in May. And I think I got to the place where, like, you know what? I don't care anymore. So, I think I'm going to delete both those apps off my phone. Because I don't see the value right now of cramming my brain to learn something new that I may not even use fully anyway. And I've been one of those guys for years that say, you know, I need to stay up. I need to keep up with the Benjamins, keep up with the Joneses, you know what I mean? And yet, I think I finally hit a wall, folks. I finally met my match. I think I'm old. I think I can't do it anymore. I think I must retire to Jersey and just stay a basic bitch. Stay a basic bitch. Because, dude, I've never gotten to the place where, like, I couldn't keep up until recently. And now I can't. I'm not able to figure out how to run Discord. That's crazy. It's crazy for me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I think I'm done. Give you 20 minutes, right? I'm actually going to record it, take the rest of the podcast. And we're going to be moving. We'll announce on the show, but I'll say it here too. We're going to be moving the podcast. We've been doing Sundays for a long time, and then we moved to Saturdays recently. and now we're going to move the show officially to Thursday nights. So this podcast will be dropping Thursday nights, early Friday morning. So it shouldn't, nor will it probably impact this podcast, because I typically do most of our shows. Even if I do one show a week on the Earnestly podcast with this show, I always do Thursday, but I think we can still squeeze in time to do this show. If I gotta do double duty that night, I'll do it. Like tonight, for example, I'll be doing a recording tonight. But so if I gotta do a double duty, I'll do that on Thursdays. So be it. But Take 3 will be moving to Thursday nights, dropping Friday morning. We record at night. We record late. We record like 10:30 at night. So by the time the show's over and editing, production, all that, it'll be out Friday morning, like midnight, whatever it may be. So that's the announcement on that end. A couple of things coming up. I may not be doing as much shows the next 2 weeks here. My work schedule is going to be ramping up a little bit. So you might see less shows here for the next 2 weeks, the rest of March. You might get maybe one a week. We'll see. I'm not going to promise anything. I tend to, just come in here randomly, like tonight, for example, and record. So we'll see how that goes. But my work schedule is going to be ramping up, and I don't know how much hours I'm going to be working. And then beyond that, if I have the energy to record, because I'll be so locked in with the day job. And remember, that's important. That's the most important thing, because the day job ultimately creates time for me to do this. So, look up. So if you notice the feed is going a little dry for, a week, you know why. What I'll probably do most likely is if things do ratchet up to the point where I won't be able to record for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, probably throw in some episodes, older episodes and rebroadcast episodes, just kind of keep you guys, keep the feed, up to date, if you know will. So, but anyway, I gave you 22 minutes of content. That's cool, right? I'm sure you like it, right? Anyway, on Twitter, EJChristian7. Earnestly Media across the board on YouTube, Earnestly Media on Facebook, on Instagram, on what I'm missing? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, I'm good at this game. Anyway, I'm done. We'll talk later. See you soon. God bless you guys. Love y'all. Stay up. Later. Thank you.